Good morning. You might can see all these horses around me. They're around me because they haven't been fed their breakfast yet, and they are ready for breakfast, and they're trying to let me know that they are ready for breakfast. But that really does a great job of setting the scene for what we're doing today. We're in the Book of Proverbs. It's one of the lectionary passages for the daily readings for this week, and it is Proverbs 9, and in that it has one of my favorite characters in the whole Old Testament, and that is the character of wisdom. And wisdom becomes personified. Her name is Sophia, and she says in Proverbs 8, I was created before creation. Before Genesis 1:1, I was created, and I was there with God at creation. And then in Proverbs 9, we have this wonderful scene of wisdom giving a dinner, just like the horses are wanting to get their breakfast. Lady Wisdom has built and furnished her home. It's supported by 7 hewn timbers. The banquet meal is ready to be served, lamb roasted, wine poured out, table set with silver and flowers. Having dismissed her serving maids, Lady Wisdom goes to town, stands in a prominent place, and invites everyone within sound of her voice. Are you confused about life? Don't know what's going on? Come with me. Oh, come have dinner with me. I've prepared a wonderful spread. Fresh baked bread, roast lamb, carefully selected wines. Leave your impoverished confusion and live. Walk up the street to a life with meaning. And so wisdom is inviting us to a banquet. And if we allow wisdom into our lives, we are walking into a wonderful banquet. But at the tail end of Proverbs 9, we get another lady calling out, Lady Foolishness, or in this translation, which is the Message, Eugene Peterson calls her the Madam Prostitute. Then there's this other woman, Madam Prostitute, brazen, empty-headed, frivolous. She sits on the front porch of her house on Main Street, and as people walk by, minding their own business, she calls out, are you confused in life? Don't know what's going on? Which is the same question that Lady Wisdom asked. Steal off with me. I'll show you a good time. No one will ever know. I'll give you the time of your life. But they don't know about all the skeletons in her closet, that all her guests end up in hell. The contrast here is wisdom's palace is 7 timbers, which means that it is complete and it's wide open. There's no secrets there. In our modern day, we would say it's transparent. And wisdom is about the good, and folly, foolishness, the lack of wisdom is about going after evil. Right in the middle between these two passages, we have that very familiar verse that we probably all know. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is insight. And we might ask, well, what does it mean to fear God? Well, again, if we go back to Proverbs 8, we get the answer to that, and that is the fear of God is hatred of evil. And when I first hear that, when I think about evil, I think about all of the things, the evil things that I'm not tempted to do, the evil sins that I don't commit. I commit plenty of sins, but I think about the evil ones that I don't commit, because those are the ones I can point fingers at. Yeah, that's the evil, you're evil, but I'm not talking about myself. But Lady Wisdom won't let us get away with that. So the fear of the Lord, she says, is hatred of evil, but it's also pride and arrogance and the way of evil, and perverted speech I hate. And particularly I want us to focus on pride and arrogance, because if I'm pointing my finger at you and saying you're evil, I'm being pride and arrogant. I heard just the other day that if you take all of the profits that the richest 3 or 4 people in the United States made just in the last year, Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon, and the other people, the richest people, just their profits from last year, I mean, they already were worth billions and billions of dollars. If you take just their profits and they were to say, we want to use these profits and we will spend them and we will work on the problem of world hunger, we could eradicate world hunger and they wouldn't miss a thing, because they have billions and billions of dollars if they would just give that. And so it's easy for me to say, well, why don't you do that? How can you be so stingy and hoard so much money? And then I hear Lady Wisdom whisper in my voice, how much have you done for world hunger? And maybe you can't solve it, but how much have you done? Because last year economically was not a bad year for me either. I didn't suffer any. I had plenty of food on my table. I even got government stimulus checks. I got more than I thought I would get at the beginning of the year. How much have you done? And when I recognize that there's pride and arrogance there, I'm invited, not simply to confess my sin, but she says, come into my banquet hall. And my banquet hall is one where we love God and we love neighbor. And the fear of God is recognizing that I reject evil. And rejecting evil isn't just not doing things, but rejecting evil is doing good. And so I do good. And so I will make sure that I do something for somebody else, that I will be sacrificial as God is sacrificial for us. And if I do those things, then I will be in the banquet room of the Lord. If I do those things, then I actually get to experience the great richness that is life. And so on this Friday, as we are going into our weekend, let me encourage you to do good as a way of demonstrating your wisdom, as a way of demonstrating you're not arrogant and proud, but rather God has blessed you with material goods, or blessed you with kindness, or blessed you with humor, or blessed you with love, and you're going to use those things to care for someone else, to care for a neighbor. I invite you to do that, and if you do that, you'll be walking in to wisdom's wonderful banquet. And as she says, I prepared a wonderful spread: fresh baked bread, roast lamb, carefully selected wines. Leave your impoverished confusion and live. Walk up the street to a life with meaning. And we can do that, of course, because God is with us. Amen. And then in Proverbs 9, we get Lady Wisdom Sophia speaking to us. Well, hey there, Comet. Lady Wisdom has built and furnished her home. It's supported by 7 hewn timbers. The banquet meal is ready to be served, the lamb roasted, the wine poured out, the table set with silver and flowers. Having dismissed her serving maids, Lady Wisdom, you are really in the way, buddy. Okay, this is not working. This isn't working.